Coach Lawson, welcome to the Courtside Club.
And the 2025 Atlantic Coast Conference champions, the Duke Blue Devils.
What did that mean for you firstly? Have you been able to kind of sit in that moment?
I have, and one of my goals when I took this job 5 years ago was to grow this program to be one of the top programs in the country. So that turnaround is not lost on me. It's really hard to do.
It seems like you're a tough coach, but it seems like you're a tough coach who cares so much about these girls.
I always know that I have to start with the truth, whether it's what they want to hear or what they don't want to hear.
We all wait in life for things to get easier. It will never get easier. What happens is you handle hard better.
I don't know what clicked or how I finally realized it. I was like, if you spend your life waiting for easy, you're going to always be disappointed.
Coach Lawson, welcome to the Courtside Club.
Thank you.
I'm so excited for this. And before we jump into talking about all things Duke, I have to show you a photo, okay? So that is me in middle school, and those are my parents. I'm from Ohio, but I was a huge Tennessee fan growing up. And so this is one of your games. I forget which one exactly, but we were there. My parents drove me down to Knoxville, Tennessee. So
that's great.
As this being me, you know, a middle schooler, and now sitting across from you, being able to chat with you, this means so much. So thank you for coming on the show.
That's awesome. I still meet to this day so many people. You know, it's pretty amazing the reach that Coach Summitt had. You know, obviously her not being with us anymore, but just decade after it and just down the line through different generations, I still meet people every day. They're like, I love Tennessee. I used to watch you play. And it's really cool to, have played for such a legend in Coach Summitt.
Yeah, I mean, you guys inspired me so much. I'm the first of my family to ever play college sports. And that was always my dream. You know, that was the pinnacle. There were pretty much two schools that were there, and you being on that team. So I want to get into the Duke stuff, but I just wanted to let you know that because the impact is great. And you're right. It continues to run throughout the decades. So you are in your 5th season at Duke, heading into the tournament. What's the vision? Tell me about this team. How far can you guys go?
I love this team. They've had an amazing growth trajectory. It's a beautiful part about coaching, and one of my favorite parts about just the job is that you get a group to start the year, and there's new pieces and new parts, and you have to figure out how to blend them all together, and they have to figure out how to blend themselves together, and hopefully you can get to a point where you're peaking at the right time. And certainly that happened for us in the ACC tournament to be able to win the title, and now we're hopeful it happens again in the NCAA tournament. I think we've proven to be a team that can beat anybody on any given night if we play up to our level that we're capable of. But March has the other side of the coin too, and I don't think you can run from it or be scared of it. Like if we don't play well, we can lose to anybody on any given night. And that's the beautiful thing about this sport and about this month is that anything can happen. Sometimes it makes you a little nervous and a little anxious, but that's the just the adrenaline and the competitiveness and the love that I have for the sport and to be in it. So I'm so excited to lead our group in the first round on Friday.
You must love it because you continue to come back. You've now done this tournament in so many different ways, as a player and yourself, and then also with this team. Let's talk about that ACC championship. Congratulations, firstly. That's the first time in 12 years, I believe. So you guys were cutting down the net. You were lifted up by your team. We had the Carrot era chants. We had the water bottle shower in the locker room. What did that mean for you, firstly? Have you been able to kind of sit in that moment and really, take that in?
I have. And one of my goals when I took this job 5 years ago was obviously to grow this program to be one of the top programs in the country. When I took the job, we were the worst team in the ACC, the last place team in the ACC. And, obviously in the ACC tournament a couple of weeks ago, we're the best team in the ACC. So that turnaround is not lost on me. It's really hard to do because it's one of the premier women's basketball conferences in the country. But to answer your question about have I had a moment to like reflect? Like, yes. And I hear people get asked this question all the time, and they're just like, no, not yet at the end of the year. And I made a promise to myself when I took this job that I was going to enjoy the rise, and I was going to enjoy every part of it, and I was going to reflect in the moment as best as I could without deterring from what's in the future. And so when the tournament ended, we took 3 days off, and everyone got away, right? Physically, mentally, emotionally. I think it's really important to recharge. And on the fourth day, when we came back, we didn't practice, but we came back together, and we reflected together about the moment.
Oh, cool.
So we sat in the room and we went around the room and we talked about what that moment meant to us individually, each player and each coach. And what were we gonna, being removed from it at that time, 4 days removed from it, but every day we're gonna be more and more removed from it, a week removed from it, 2 weeks removed from it, a month removed from it, a year removed from it, 20 years removed from it. What is gonna stand out in our brain about that moment? And for everyone, it's something different, a memory, a snapshot, of something, a facial, a glance that you shared with someone, at a specific time, or a huddle or a moment in the game. Super cool just to hear what everybody had. And it was emotional, like good emotional, right? Like there were tears,
right.
and to share that within our group internally. And I won't share any of the memories because that was an internal thing, that we shared together. So yeah, we did reflect, and
I love that.
It's okay to be happy about an accomplishment, and it's okay to talk about it and reflect in the moment on it. Like, what else are we here on earth to do? Like,
Right.
like when good things happen to us, we should celebrate, in the moment with the people that we love. I love these players. I love them so much, and it was great to have that together. And then eventually, we do move on because we have another tournament to play. But that was a really cool hour that we spent together.
Well, I think it's hard, people in your position and your team, because you are coaching the best of the best. Like, these are the best players in the country that you're surrounded by. And to get to that point, you have to be relentless in your work ethic and all that they've done to get there. So sometimes you do get wrapped up in like, okay, we got to keep grinding. We got to get to what's next. But I love that you guys took that moment. I think it also, you correct me if I'm wrong, just like builds a chemistry with you guys. And I noticed that when I watched Duke women's basketball, you guys play as a team. There's not certain players going out there that you have to rely on to put on this many points. Like, you guys are a well-oiled machine. You play on a string on both ends of the court. Is that something both on and off the court you've worked on to get it to where it does play out on the court with this chemistry?
So to me, it starts in recruiting. We recruit that.
Okay.
I don't think you can take a young person at 18 and just change them all the way, right? Like, I think there are like these little things foundationally already inside of all of us as we're growing up, that our parents teach us foundationally, that our siblings teach us, that our teachers and our coaches, like our youth coaches and our high school coaches, like think of your athletic journey and like who impacted you and different things that they all put inside of you. So when I'm recruiting players and I'm talking with high school players, I can't say it's like one thing. I don't even know if I can explain it to you. But I'm looking for like connection, and kind of, is there a similarity in how we see the game? Like how we see the game, and not how we see the game scheme wise, like how we see the game, like with plays and X's and O's. It's like how we feel like the game should be played and how we feel like it should be experienced. And to me, the game is built to be experienced together. There's some things in life that were built to be experienced singularly. And then there's some things in life that were meant to be like a together experience. And I've always felt like basketball and team sport was meant to be experienced together. And finding players that really love that part of the game. And I have a group of young women that they love being together, and they genuinely enjoy the success of each other. And that's hard to find just in life in general. I mean, think of your relationships and your friendships and just your work, even just like work relationships, not like a romantic relationship, just like a work relationship. Okay. How many people are like genuinely happy when something good happens to you? Not as many as you think. Like there's a lot of jealousy. There's a lot of, there's a lot of like, oh, I wish that were me, or I wish that was, And so when you can get in an environment where that is the case and people are like, man, I'm so happy for you, Rachel. Like, that's amazing. Like what you were able to do, even though maybe that meant I didn't do that day. Like, you got to do it.
Yeah.
Like, that's such an amazing thing. And it's such a great environment to be in. And so our players create that. Because they're the ones that, it's not like I brainwash them or tell them to be that way. Like, that's how they genuinely are. And it's awesome to see. Like, they are so happy. Like, when Alucci got named MVP of the tournament, like, they were so excited. They weren't like, I wish I was the MVP. Like, they were so excited for her because she deserved it.
I saw them on their cell phones on social media, like shouting her out, like, here's my MVP. And they're all going around and like giving flowers. But that's a testament to you and the program. But that's also something, if you don't have that, that can destroy a good team that has a good roster of players if they're not able to come together in that way.
Connection is so valuable. And your desire, like, as an individual to impact other people and to help make other people great is such a superpower. And it's a superpower that exists inside of all of us. Like, we all have the ability to impact people in a positive way. And so we could choose to do that in our daily interactions, or we can choose not to. And choosing to do that it change people's day. Like, think about if you're walking down the street and someone compliments you, or someone's like, I really like, hey, I like your hair today, coach. Like, I like your curls today, coach. Like, they look great. It makes you feel good, doesn't it? Like, a simple compliment or a simple way to impact people. And when you can find people that do that, like, so I try to be a person like that. I want my players to be people like that. And you can be so successful in life, and not successful in like achieve a lot, just successful with how you make people feel. You can make people feel great. And I have a lot of players. I mean, they make me feel great every day when I get a chance to see them and spend time with them.
It seems like you guys are having a good time from the outside looking in. And that's even something after the ACC championship game. You said, myself as a coach, I don't want to be known as a complainer. And I am also going to be so honest with my players. Like, we're going to go over the things that we did wrong. And it seems like you're a tough coach, but it seems like you're a tough coach who cares so much about these girls on the court and off the court. How do you develop that relationship with them to where you can be really tough on them, but they know that you're being tough is coming from like a good place? It's not you just being tough because you just, okay, I want to win. I need a championship. I need this. How do you build that with the girls?
Well, I think it starts with the trust and with the honesty. The one thing I know about basketball players, because I was one for a long time, was that we can spot fakes from a mile away in terms of people that aren't being real and true with us, people that tell us what we want to hear, people that try to get close to us for different reasons. Like, we can sense that immediately. And so my players, I know, have that sense too. That's like a sixth sense of a basketball player. You just have it always. So I always know that I have to start with like the truth, and always tell them the truth, whether it's what they want to hear or what they don't want to hear. And so I feel like, to a player, they know that I'm not going to lie to them. I'm not going to try to gas them up if it's not warranted. I'm not going to try to cut them down if it's not warranted. Like, I'm going to like stay in the real with them. That's important. And so if you establish that over time, and in all the situations that come up on and off the court, good and bad, you're constantly staying in that real with them, then respect starts to form, I think, amongst the two people. Like, okay, like, even when it's good, even when it's bad, she's staying in the real. And then I challenge them. I want them to do that with me as well, because their reel is just as important as my reel. What do I mean by that? If I'm seeing something and it's my job as a coach to point out, hey, you're doing this the wrong way, and show them, and here's why. Then if I'm doing something the wrong way in coaching them, my expectation is they're going to share that with me too. Right. And they're going
Have you had a player come to you with something? That
yeah.
really...
Like it's not like, and right and wrong is probably the wrong words to use to describe it.
Yeah.
It's like, inspiring and motivating people, everyone's different. And so the best way to inspire and motivate you is going to be different than maybe another player. And so if I'm using one method to get you, that I think is the best method for you, but it's not working for you, like, let's talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, how can I get you, Rachel, to perform at your best? What do you need from me? Like, as your coach, what do you need from me? Tell me.
Right.
Like, tell me, like don't send me on a scavenger hunt and I'm unthinking about, and it's taking me 2 months to figure it out. And then in those 2 months, you and I are like banging heads and then you're complaining, you know, to maybe a teammate or your parents or whatever, saying like, well, coach just doesn't get me. Well, come talk to me so I get you.
Yeah.
You know, like, come sit down with me. Like, I want to get you. Like, come, like, let's figure it out. Let's get each other. Because the faster we get each other, the more we get to like so many amazing places. One, the deeper our relationship gets, right? Like, we can get to different places because we have that trust and we get one another and we understand. And now I don't take a criticism personally because I get what you're saying, or like, I know that that's your personality, or no. So I think there's so many times in life, like, we just got to talk.
Yeah.
You know, we got to sit down, we got to talk to one another, and we got to say, hey, this kind of hurt my feelings when you did this, or this frustrated me when you did that. And that doesn't mean I'm always going to agree with their assertions, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to talk about it. And now we have a relationship. Now we have a relationship. We only have a relationship if we talk about things that, and we only have a true relationship if we have good and bad times. You know, like a real friendship, a real relationship is not just good all the time. You know, like, I always say this, like, you're either lying or you just haven't fought yet. If you have a friendship that never had, you know what I mean? Like, we're all going to have ups and downs. So let's be strong and let's talk about it. And every player, I'm on a different part of the spectrum in our relationship, right? Some of them are freshmen and like we're building it. Some of them are seniors, and man, we've done this. I'm so proud, like, of the different relationships that I have with the players, and I'll pick one player in particular, even though you didn't ask. Like, Regan Richardson. I love Regan Richardson, and Regan and I have been through it. You know, like, we have been through it. Like, I did not understand her at all when she first got here, and she did not understand me at all when we first got here. But I'm so proud of us. Man, I love us. I'm so proud of us because Regan and I have worked. Like, we have laughed together, cried together, sat outside of Cameron, you know, crying together, been in my office, talked on the phone. Like, we have done the real work that it takes. And so we're so strong, man. Like, we can't be broken, you know, like, we can't be broken. And I'm so much better of a coach having had her as a player. I would hope, I'm not going to speak for her, but I would hope she'd say, man, I'm so much better of a player because I've had coach as my coach. And that's what this thing is about. And I'm just proud of us that we stayed in it. And there were times, you know, that was hard to. And there were times we were frustrated with one another. But, you know, I love her. And, you know, I know we're going to be, you know, connected for the rest of our lives.
Yeah. I mean, that means so much because as a basketball player and myself as well, like, playing my whole life, you sometimes spend more time like with your coaches and with your team than anyone. And even I'll tell you a quick story that what was a turning point for me when you talk about coaches finding the right button. My freshman year of high school, they were so hard on me. I was leaving practice crying every day. And I was like, I don't know, but I'm starting. I'm a great player, but I'm crying because I'm like, they are so mean to me. I'm getting picked on. I felt like I was getting picked on. Yeah. And I had a meeting with them and I was like, this is just too much. And my coach, this is what she decided to say. She said, Rachel, you can get thick skin, you can get tougher, or we can put you on JV. Let us know what you want to do. And that to me, because she knew how competitive I was, that was a turning point for me. And for the rest of my life, that comes to mind for me, to be tough, because life is always going to be hard. And I know this is something that you harp on as well. That has helped me through my basketball career, through friendships, through my business career. And like, that was them finding whatever that button was. And I toughened up real quick right after that day. Yesterday, I was having a day. We all have a day where it's just hard to get up. It's not even, hard to go to practice, hard to go to your work. I was having one of those. And then I start prepping for this interview. I know I'm chatting with you and your viral video where you talk about the hard, right? So I want to read a quote from you. Any meaningful pursuit in life, if you want to be successful at it, it goes to the people who handle hard well. Share a little bit of that with our Courtside audience. I feel like that's obviously, you've touched a lot of people in the basketball space, but even across the world with this message.
I think just through the different experiences that I've had in my life, I spent a lot of time in my life waiting for the easy to come and thinking that, if I just get through this, it'll get easier. If I just get through this test, then the math will get easier. If I just get to spring of my senior year, I won't have to work as hard in school. And, if I just get in shape, then the conditioning will be easier, in basketball. And so I just found myself in this space a lot. And I don't know what clicked or how I finally realized it. I was like, if you spend your life waiting for easy, like, you're going to always be disappointed because most of the meaningful pursuits or most of the big time accomplishments go to the people that figure out how to handle hard better and better than others. And that just mental shift for me was everything. So instead of waiting for the easy, it's like, okay, how can I figure this out? How can I figure out how to handle this better than I am right now? And so it became more like a game to me, in terms of problem solving. And then, woe is me, this is so hard. I'm, kind of wilting under, the pressure of the difficulty of it. And that mental shift changed for me. And I shared that with our team, a couple of years ago. And yes, definitely had no idea it would, resonate the way that it has. And I still get letters and emails and people that stop me. I mean, still to this day, if I'm walking through an airport and people stop and will say about Duke or say about Tennessee or say about whatever, right? But now it's overwhelming majority about handle hard better. And the coolest part about that for me is when people stop to talk to me about handle hard better, they share their story. Like if someone stops me to talk to me about basketball, they're like, "Oh, coach, I love your team. Can I get a picture?" Yeah. Or, I saw you play here. It's like that kind of interaction, which are great. I'm not saying those interactions aren't awesome. Like I love, obviously when people recognize something that I've achieved. But for handle hard better, people will come up to me and they'll say, "Coach, thank you for your video. I lost my mom a year ago, and one of my friends sent me the video," or, my kid got diagnosed with, this disease, and they're sharing literally some like pivotal life moment and how my words have helped them through that. That's so powerful. And they don't even usually ask for a picture, which is fine. Like I don't, right. Because it's a human moment that I'm getting to have with so many people over these last 3 years. I've had so many incredible just human moments where people come up to me and they're sharing like the hard time that those words maybe helped alleviate a little bit. It didn't take away the hard time, but how cool is that? Like, how lucky am I? Think about every day if you woke up and like you went somewhere and at some point in your day, someone was going to share a human moment with you.
Right. It's
incredible. So it's really
how much closer we would all be.
Yeah.
How much maybe kinder the whole world would be if we all kind of understood, like, we are all going through this. We're all going through something at some point. So, you have made an impact on so many levels from the beginning of your playing career to now. Someone else who also did that is Pat Summitt. She left behind such an incredible legacy that we still talk about today. What do you hope to do in your coaching career, and what legacy do you hope to leave?
I think Pat's legacy is the greatest legacy in women's basketball history. I don't know that it'll ever be surpassed, nor is that a desire of mine to surpass her legacy. I mean, it's an amazing one. I'm so lucky to have been able to play for her and learn from her. And I've wanted to be a coach since I was 7 years old. I knew I wanted to be a coach. I didn't know what level or anything like that, but I knew I wanted to coach. So that was something I knew and I felt like was my purpose very early on, okay, in my life. But how I wanted to do it and what I was inspired, who I was inspired by, like all that happened at Tennessee. I saw this incredibly strong, independent, charismatic, tough woman. And I was coached by that daily. And she worked to build a relationship with me, to spend time with me. She worked to challenge me, right? She worked to push me hard. There were tears. There were, hard conversations, like all the stuff I was talking about, like with Regan earlier in our talk, like that was me, right? As a college player. And when you get poured into by another person like that, one, it fundamentally changes your life. Coach Summitt straight up changed my life. But it inspired me to try to be someone that could do that for other people. So I always knew I wanted to be a coach, but what kind of coach I wanted to be, that crystallized for me at Tennessee playing for her. And so I know I won't be her, like I said, her legacy's unmatched.
It's one of one.
But
yeah.
Yes, of course. But to be able to have relationships individually with each of my players the way she had with hers, that's my goal. That's my goal. And so I'm going to work tirelessly. I'm going to put in the time. I'm going to try to be the best coach that I can be for each of my players and earn their trust and earn their belief and earn their love and try to maximize what they can do in life.
Love that. So I want to touch on it really quick before I let you go. When you get back to focusing on your team, you had a busy summer coaching Team USA. What was that like, being surrounded by the great players and great coaches that you were with? And also having Diana Taurasi there, having her just stepping away from the game, but someone that you played against.
Anytime I get a chance to be involved with USA basketball, it's a dream. It's amazing. It's the top of the top. It's the best coaches, the best players. I got a chance to experience that as a player in Beijing in 2008. And so kind of a full circle moment for me now to be a part of the coaching staff as an assistant coach in Paris. So many of the players, that I've watched grow, coached a lot of them at younger levels. Never thought I'd be a coach on an Olympic team coaching a player I played against. But I think that speaks to the greatness of Diana and the longevity of Diana and the type of career that she was able to put together. So that was fun. It wasn't weird. It was fun. It was fun to, she was my teammate in 2008. Obviously, we played against each other a ton in college and the pros. And then to have a chance to coach her and, up close as a coach. I'd seen it up close as a teammate and as a competitor. But to witness up close how great of a player that she is was awesome. And then the new generation, to be around them. I mean, Jackie and Kelsey, I coached 3-on-3 in Tokyo. And so to be together at 5-on-5 was awesome. Sabrina, I coached in 3-on-3 when she was in college and, have a great relationship with her. And so all the different moments of the different players was great to be around and just inspiring and motivating too. When you're around the top people in their field, man, it motivates you to get there and to stay there. And, luckily, I shouldn't say luckily, we earned the gold medal, but it was a tough game and France is legit. And it was an overall just amazing experience.
I mean, the trajectory of women's basketball, it's on the rise. It will continue to go, this next generation of players, and you're at the front of that. So Kara, thank you so much again for coming on Courtside Club. I've been a fan. You've been an inspiration to me. I'm so excited to watch this Duke team in the tournament. I'm rooting for you guys. And we'll be following along the rest of the way. And you got to get to a football game too. You know, I do the in-stadium hosting for football.
I came to the Carolina game last year, the football game, the home game.
So you must have been in a suite or something, or else we would have taken you down.
I was right with the players. I was right close to. I like to be up close.
Okay, so what? All right. Yeah. Well, next time I'm heading over there because we normally do a little women's basketball thing. So hopefully I see you then, if not sooner. But I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, Rachel.